Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Beautiful reading. Clear, just like Sharat Ritu. The waters in Sharat Ritu become clear. The wind is gentle and nice. The sky is clear. So Shuka Brahma, you remember, during Pravrit Varnana, he said, if you look up in the sky during the rainy season, at night, all the dark clouds, they have enveloped the sky, so you can't see the sky. You can't see the moon. Even though the moon has got beautiful light, you can't see the moon because the clouds have covered it. But on the cloud, you see some of the luminosity of the moon. So he said this is very similar to how the jivas, the prakasha, the atma prakasha of the jiva is hidden by the clouds of ahankara and mamakara, and therefore you think I, mine, and always identifying with the body which is subject to these shat vikaras. It is born, it exists, it grows, it changes, it declines, and it perishes. Only if the cloud of ahankara, mamakara is removed, then you can see the Atma Prakasha of the moon, and you know then that the moon is actually only reflecting the sun's light, which is Paramatma Swarupa. Just by looking up in the sky, he has given you such great spiritual lesson. And therefore now, because it is Sharat Ritu, the sky is clear, the cloud cover is gone, and therefore at night you are able to see the beautiful full moon. Akhanda Mandalo Vyomni. Akhanda Mandala. Vyomni means in the sky. Raraja Uduganai Shashi. Shashi means the moon. The moon is now surrounded by so many stars, and you can see the moon clearly. And he's giving us the true darshanam. He says this reminds the saint, reminds Sri Shuka Brahma of how Krishna is surrounded by all his devotees. Yatha Yadupatihi. Udupati means the moon. Yadupati is Krishna. Udupati Shashi. Yadupati Krishna. Vrishni Chakravruto Bhuvi. What a beautiful time. The time that he is describing when Krishna is there playing with all the Gopa boys. Just as the season is changing, no, from the summer season to rainy season to now Sharat Ritu, similarly, slowly you have already seen one big change. The Vatsalya Bhakti moved to the Sakhya Bhakti of the boys. Now slowly it's going to move to the Madhurya Bhakti. That is being indicated by the change of these seasons. You have seen one Ritu, you have seen second Ritu, you are now seeing the third Ritu. Similarly, you have seen one Bhakti, you have seen second Bhakti, you are going to see the third Bhakti. Just like the moon is shining so brightly with all these different stars, in the Sharat Ritu, you can see the moon's darshanam so nicely. Similarly, if you read this chapter, you will see the Krishna darshanam surrounded by all these devotees. Yata Yadupati Krishno Vrishni Chakravruto Bhuvi. Sharat Ritu has so many characteristics. Sharadha Nirajotpatya. Niraja means lotus flower. So, in the rainy season, the rain hits hard on the stalks, so the flowers are not easily able to bloom, even though they need all the water for their nourishment. But now there is no rain, the lotuses are able to bloom nicely. Niraja Utpatya. And because of all these lotuses, the Saroruha, they are called. These lotuses, in scriptural studies, they have a special feature. Even if the lake is muddy, if this sarojas, if they bloom, then the water becomes clear. That is a special quality that is referred to. Some special qualities like this are referred to in the scriptures. Hamsa means swan, but in the scriptural studies, the Paramahamsas, they have the ability to separate milk from water. If you mix water and milk and give it to a Hamsa, the Hamsa will separate the milk and the water, drink only the milk and leave the water. Similarly, Paramahamsas are able to look at the universe and reject all the things that are not required, all the things that are material, and only enjoy the spiritual rasa. Similarly, these Sarohas, these Nirajas, they have the ability to make the water really clear. The water was muddy earlier. Now, with the blooming of these lotuses, the waters have become very clear. Also, a feature of Sharat Ritu. Yatha chetamsi punar yoga nishevaya. If somebody has been following some swadhyaya, somebody has been reading Bhagavad Gita, Ramayana, Bhagavata, something. Suddenly, for several months, they were not able to read, but now they are able to read once again. Then they will still regain all that spiritual happiness, no? Similarly, all these water bodies have regained their purity and the Swachha Jala. Sky is clear. No more clouds. Vyomno abdham. Similarly, all the sheep, all the calves, to protect them from the rain, they were all kept enclosed in their pens. But now there is not so much rain. They can be let out to graze freely. So all these animals are no longer kept in their crowded pens. They are now out. Bhuta shavalyam bhuvaha pankam. You remember when rainy season, it said all the paths, they become very unclear now because all the mud and everything has made the paths kind of disappear. You don't see the paths. Now in Sharat Ritu, all the paths have become clear once again. And finally the water. Apam, malam, all the waters, which were also very muddy and not fit to drink, have all now become crystal clear. Shuka Brahma is saying, Krishna Bhakti Yatha. If you do Krishna Bhakti means what? Listen to some katha, Krishna Katha. You listen to some katha. It may be describing something. You may think, what is this? Some child is stealing butter, some child is grazing cows, playing the flute, dancing a rasa dance. But somehow you hear all those stories, then all the four ashramas, whether it is brahmacharya, grihastha, vanaprastha or sannyasa, all the four ashramas are going to benefit just like these four, just like the sky got cleared of the clouds, just like the animals got freed from being cooped up in their pens, just like the earth and the paths became clear of all the mud, and just like the water became crystal clear. Similarly, if you do Krishna Bhakti, Katha Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, whatever is your favorite path, all ashramas are benefited. Clouds are now white. They have given up the water. They are also looking so clean, just like devotees who have given up the dirt of material desires. Tyakta Yatha Tyaktaishana Shanta Munayo Mukta Kilvishaha. Now the mountain is very clear. You can see the Govardhana mountain. In some parts, there is some small waterfalls. In some parts, there is no waterfall in Sharat Ritu. And also these waterfalls, now they are coming out. The water comes out at sometimes the water doesn't come out. The springs, the mountain springs, Some places it comes, sometimes it comes. Other times it doesn't come. Other places there is no waterfall or spring. Girayo mumuchuhu toyam. Mumuchuhu. They are releasing. Toyam means water. They are releasing this water. Kvachit na mumuchuhu. Sometimes they don't release. In some places they don't release. When they release, it's a big blessing. Shivam. He's saying it is just like going to a Mahan. Sometimes that Mahan may feel like giving you some Atma Bodha that gives you some divine experience, and they may do that through words. It's just like this mountain releasing the Toya. In some other times, they may be quiet. You will still benefit by their presence. Yatha jnanamritam kale jnanino dadate nava. They may speak, they may not speak. It is up to them. Gada jale charaha. Gada jale charaha. Gada vari charaha. Vari means jala. Fish who are in the shallow parts of the water, there is big ponds which will never dry up, but there are some very small ponds, small kuttembo. Those ones have very shallow water, it just lasts a little while. Because of the rain, there is some small water feature. It's going to dry up very soon. But even in that, there is a fish. The fish doesn't know that little while later that water is going to dry up and it's going to pass away. Says it reminds us of most of the samsaris. Every day they see that somebody is born, somebody passes away, but they never contemplate when their own life is going to end. Yata daridra kripana kutumbi abhijitendriya. 39. Shanai shanai jahu pankam sthalanyamam cha virudaha. The plants, the trees which had fruits that were raw, not ripe, are slowly becoming ripe. Just as the earth and the waters are losing their muddy feature and becoming clear, at the same time, these fruits are also slowly ripening. Just like the people who are in satsanga, who have understood how to slowly reduce their material wants, how to slowly reduce the feeling of mine, I am doing this is mine, slowly reducing that feeling, their insides are becoming riper and riper, similar to this yata aham mamatam dhira shariradishu anatmasu. Just like we move through the blessings of the scripture, through the blessings of the Guru, we move from identifying ourselves with the body and therefore thinking, this is me, I am doing this is mine, I am great, I am proud, I am rich. Slowly leaving that and understanding that this body is impermanent and that we are truly part of something more permanent, just like the fruits are becoming more ripe. The rivers and the seas, you remember earlier they were turbulent. Now they are calm. It reminds the Guru of great Mahatmas whose minds are always calm. Samyak munihi atmani uparate samyak munihi. Kedara means rice fields, paddy fields. Kedarebhyastu apogrihnanne. The farmers have reinforced, they have certain pathways for the water to flow. Now they have reinforced it so that the water reaches the right place for the rice fields to actually benefit from the flow of the water. And that is reminding Shuka Brahmam of great yogis, yoginah Sravajnanam yata pranaihi tannirodena yoginah. Tat nirodena. Just like people who have understood how to control their senses, they are able to direct their attention and get the right result. It is similar to these farmers who have strengthened the irrigation waters so they flow to the right rice fields. Sharat Arka Amshujan Stapane Bhutanam Udupo Harat. Udupa, the autumn moon is supposed to be so, because the air is so clear, no? You can see the moon so nicely. It fills people's hearts with great happiness. It's comforting. The autumn moon is comforting. Just like Deha Vimanajam Bodho. Bodha means the true knowledge. What is the true knowledge? That we are occupying this body just like we live in this house. Or we are, the jiva has worn this body just like we wear some clothes. So just like this house is not us, but just a place that we inhabit, or these clothes are not us, but just something we wear, similarly this body, that knowledge gives great comfort to the jivas. That is one side, okay? The other side is more important. He's saying, Mukundo Vraja Yoshita. Mukundo Vraja Yoshita. Just like you get so happy seeing the full moon, similarly, the girls are feeling so happy seeing the Krishna Chandra. Madhurya Bhavam is coming. Mukundo Vrajayoshitam Bhutanam Udupo Aharat. Tapan Aharat. Tapan Aharat. They have a tapa that they want to keep seeing him. They're missing seeing him. So when they see him, that tapa is gone. Tapani aharati kam ashobhat. Because now the sky is clear. You can see all the stars. Earlier he said, no, sometimes the Vedic path may be covered by the clouds. Now the clouds are gone. So the meaning of the scriptures is shining. Every star is a scripture ready to give you some divine experience. Shabda Brahma Artha Darshanam. Shabda Brahma Artha Darshanam. This Brahma Swarupa can come to you by any means. You may be reading Dashamaskandam, and this half shloka, quarter shloka may just somehow transform you. Mukundo Vrajayoshitam. That's it. Shabda Brahmartha Darshana. You get that darshana already because that particular scripture is now shining inside you. The wind is blowing with beautiful fragrance, all the fragrance. It's neither too hot like it was in summer, nor is the wind too cold like it was in the Varsha Ritu. It's giving comfort to everybody except for the girls who are facing Krishna Viraha. Na Krishna Krita Chetasaha. When people do some worship, let's say they are reading Ramayana, they may be reading it purely because of their affection towards Sita Rama. Okay. They are only reading it because they are happy that they have the opportunity to read it. And whatever is the fruit, that also they have given Balam Vishnu Pravardata. You're reading the whole 20,000 odd shlokas. You're 21,000 until you came to Yuddha Kanda. And then you have finished all this reading, so many hours. And what is the phalam? Balam Vishnu Pravardatam. You may be that kind of devotee, okay? But The scripture is still going to give you Kutumba Vriddhim, Dhanadanya Vriddhim, Srescha Mukya Sukhamuktavam Cha. It's going to give you all that. Similarly, the Sharat Ritu, all the female cows, the female deers, Harini, the female birds, all the women, everything has become extra fertile. And therefore, all the corresponding males are following them very closely. Gavo mriga khaganadya pushpinya sharada bhavanne anviyamana svavrashaihi falaihi ishakriya iva. Just like, definitely, you're reading Ramayana, you're going to have Kutumba Vriddhim, Dhanadanya Vriddhim, whether you desire it or not. Similarly, all these people, because of the blessings of Sharat Ritu, several of these harinis, several of these birds, several of these people actually became in the family way. Lotuses are all blooming happily. Udahrishyan, all the different kinds. There are so many kinds of lotuses. All of them are blooming except one, Kumud Vina, because this Kumuda, it actually blooms at night, not during the day. So here he is saying, just like this Krishna is the king, no, he has come. When the king comes, all the people are happy except the thieves, because the thieves are frightened. They don't show up when the king is there. Similarly, all these other lotuses are showing up. Harvest, autumn harvest has happened. Puragrameshu Agrayanaihi Indriyaischa Mahotsavaihi. Mahotsavas are happening. Autumn harvest, no? Fully grown grain, so the granaries are all full. So many different Vedic yajnas are happening. So many other conventional folk worship, which may not be from the Vedas, but it is being done conventionally. Indriyaischa. Indriyaischa means Indra Yajnam is going to come. Krishna is going to stop it. So they are saying. Some of them are through the scriptures. Some of them are invented by the people as a conventional worship that they are doing. Both those worships are happening. Therefore, Mahotsavaihi, Mahotsavaihi. Babao Buhu, Pakwasasadhya, Kalabhyam Nitare, Nitaram Hare, Vaning Muni. Vanik means all the merchants, people who are going from one place to the other, buying, selling, making profit, the merchant class. Muni, all the saints. The saints are also parivrajakas. They go from one village to the other. They do some Ramayana, Bhagavatam, Pravachana, Upanishad, Gita, whatever it is. They do all those things. But during the Varsha Ritu, they were all stopped. Chaturmasyam, they cannot go anywhere. Now they are also free to go. The merchants are free to go. The munis are free to go. The kings. You remember Rama told Sugriva, Varsha Ritu is coming. You go and you enjoy your new kingdom. After Varsha Ritu is done, you come back. Then we will go and we will send all the monkeys to search for Sita. So all the kings also plan their major activities during Sharat. Students, Snata means students. These students, they have also finished all their studies. They are ready to go to the next stage of their life. Snata means person is ready for Varaprashana. Next is wedding. So even the children who have finished their studies are ready. He's saying this is all similar to how siddhas, there are some siddhas. These people have obtained some siddhi, but they are waiting for the time this physical body can be dropped so that they can go assume some divine form. Siddhaha swapindane kala agate yata siddhaha varsharuddha yata siddhaha swapindan kala agate. Kala agate. All these four classes are ready to go achieve their next things, just like the siddhas are ready to take divine bodies and enjoy their divine fruits. Divine truth is coming. Venu Ravam.